On the 4th of September 2020, Madame Achibu Agnes was announced the winner of the primary election in the Women MP parliamentary race for Nebbi district, to the surprise of many in the hall. And of course, later on it spread outside. This is it. We are hosting her tonight on the Political Dive on Northern TV. My name is Fred Mungurek. I want to take this time to welcome you to this week's edition of the program. And we'll be talking to her in an exclusive interview. And do not forget, you are catching us on Facebook. And of course, if right now you are taken up by any other thing, remember, you have the chance to go to our YouTube channel. That is Northern TV. You'll be able to get all that she will be speaking about right here on the show. First things first, I will be going straight to our guest this evening, and a warm welcome to the Political Dive on Northern TV. Of course, your very first appearance on the show.
I'm really humbled to be with you here.
Right, when the results were announced about you winning the NRM primaries, it came as a shock to many people. But before we get into how it all happened, kindly tell us about yourself.
Thank you very much. I'm called Achibu Agnes. I'm an Alor. I'm a born of Paduojo Paloma, Koshuin sub-county. I'm a married woman to Mr. Komo Phillips, who is also a teacher. He's from Achiru village, Jupalua, found in Abindo division, just within Nebbi municipality. Then, besides that, of course, professionally I'm a teacher, and I've lived in the service for 27 years. As I talk, I've taught very many people in the different fields. Politicians are there, lawyers are there, doctors are there, nurses are there. Others have turned to business. In fact, the different walks of life, there are just many there. So when you talk about Madame Achibu Agnes, they don't get surprised, because as far as my teaching was concerned or my school background was concerned, I was a pupil in Angal Girls. Then after finishing primary 7, I joined Angal SS. From there, my A-level, I went to Ringi SS. After that, I went to National Teachers College, Muni, Arua. Then I came back to teach in the district. So my first school was Ringi SS. The second one was Erusi SS. Right now, as I was joining politics, I was already a teacher of Akuru SS. And besides, there are the many responsibilities which I held. And most of the times, my life was with the students. And therefore, that is my life, briefly, apart from things that are outside the teaching profession. So if you are interested about others, we shall share. Thank you.
Now, quickly, coming from the teaching background, at what point did you conceive the idea of joining politics and abandoning the shogs and probably the blackboards and the teaching tools?
Thank you very much. First of all, when you see that things must happen in your district, when you are focused, you see. And when you move, you compare notes. You see, why is it that other districts are moving forward while ours is just sinking? And when you have such questions in your mind, slowly by slowly it brings you to see what you can do. And I do believe that you can do it better when you are in politics, and more so when you anchor on the political party of the ruling government, because they have the money. So when you come and you are in touch with them, definitely development would come if you have that vision of promoting your people, also developing your area. Then you asked me how the seeds of politics was planted into me. I want to tell you that the seeds of politics came in me when I became the coordinator of UNSA. That is Uganda National Students Association. I was the coordinator for the whole of Greater Nebbi. But eventually when the district started getting their own status, that is when also I started pulling out. I want to tell you that being a coordinator of UNSA exposed me to many, many things. One, yearly you must take the students, or the district must be represented for the National Delegates Conference. And bearing in mind that His Excellency, our President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is the patron of UNSA, time and again you would meet him because he's the patron of the association. So definitely you would meet him. Apart from him, you get ministers, you get many people of different walks of life, even the religious people, and you would see what it is. So because of that, it inspired me. I said, I think, when we talk about politics, it is not the politics I knew, because in most cases people say politics is a dirty game. But because of this UNSA, I got to learn that politics is not a dirty game, but it is the bad people in politics that make politics bad. So, UNSA itself, when you talk to the students, is a nursery bed for politicians. And now being a coordinator, I became interested in politics. And of course, it is because of the vacuum in our district. And you know, when a vacuum is created, if you don't come up, any person can take it. So any person who takes that place of a vacuum has led to problems in our district. And you don't get surprised when 9 came to compete that against our incumbent. And therefore, I think it made the largest number of candidates as far as the NRM primaries is concerned in the country.
Okay, let's talk about your win. That is in the NRM primaries. To many people, it came as a big surprise. What did you do, more especially on the ground, that made you to shock everyone by emerging as the winner in the NRM primaries?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really humbled to explain this categorically clear so that people can believe that politics is not a one-day thing, so waking up on the bed that I'm going for politics. I told you that I've been a coordinator for 10 years of UNSA. So since I was appointed as the coordinator of UNSA in Greater Nebbi, and it was democratic, because the UNSA coordinators normally, it is the head teachers to recommend one of the teachers they would think would manage the students' affairs. So it was in the sitting of the head teachers that they recommended me to be the coordinator. Then they sent my name to the Secretariat of Uganda National Students Association. That is when I got my appointment letter. I want to say that each time I met with the student leaders, I would tell them, I would encourage them, because UNSA leadership is about the political thing of the school. They are like the watchdog. They see that the student welfare must be catered for very well. And then from there, each time I meet the students, especially when we come to the district election of the executive of UNSA in the district, I was always reminding them, I will be your future MP. So all these years, the student leaders, remember all these schools, the technical school we have in Angal, they would come. They come. We pick the cream of the students, and each time I remind them, I'm the future MP. And you can imagine that each time the teacher is talking to student leaders, and these student leaders are accompanied by their patrons and matrons. So the message kept on going. It kept on going. The students believed that one time I would be the MP of Nebbi.
So you took advantage of your position as the coordinator for UNSA to start spreading the message back in the days.
Definitely. And I started my politics 2 years back. When there are functions, I would be invited, because already the message had gone that I would be the future MP. So whenever there are functions, there are burials, people would invite me, and they would give me the opportunity, and I would tell them I have interest in politics. So I would tell them. And before I started, they would ask me, which party? I was reserved. I told them, what you should know, I will come when the time comes. The party, the time will come at that time when I come. So people knew, except that they did not know on which ticket I would come. But people had known that for sure Madam Achibu has developed interest in politics.
As we get to wrap this up, because we are due for a break, definitely from what you've explained, you actually rode on your connection to the young people that you have worked with in schools and also in the political wing of the students' leadership.
Yes, definitely. You know, there is a saying that a good teacher is always remembered. And all the people who went through my hands, they remember me as a good teacher. And you know, with the teachers, we are leaders. Teachers are leaders. But what we should know, there are levels of leadership. And I think as a teacher, the best leadership place for me is being a woman member of parliament for Nebbi district.
Okay, we need to take a break, and when we get back, I'll be engaging her on what she thinks exactly about her being dragged to the National Tribunal that was actually instituted by the National Party chairperson, that is for National Resistance Movement, President Yoweri Museveni Kaguta. Let's take that break, and we'll be back in a flash. Right, welcome back from that short break. This is the Political Dive on Northern TV. My name is Fred Monguriek. We are hosting the NRM flag bearer for Nebbi District Women MP. And of course, she is none other than Miss Achibu Agnes. Kindly tell us what you exactly think about being dragged to the tribunal, but still emerging as the winner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fred. First of all, we must all believe that leadership is from God. And God uses people to choose their leaders. And once you are chosen, there's nothing that can bar somebody from want to be the people's choice. I was people's choice. But because of some maybe selfish interest, what we should not forget is that we have people with a PhD. When I talk about PhD is pull him or her down. Such people, they are there in our society. And you know, not everybody who comes to the NRM party is an NRM. This is what we should know. Because if you are a true NRM member, you will abide by the constitution of NRM. There it is clearly spelled out. When you contest and you don't make it, you must support the one who has gone through. But now we have seen what has happened. One, I was taken to the tribunal. I had the courage because I did not have any power to tell people to elect me. And what was very good was this time it was by lightning and during broad daylight. And Mr. Fred, I want to tell you that I hope you know what happened within the town. Within the town, I did not concentrate much apart from Abindu Division, my marital area. So you would find in many of these villages, people did not see me. And where you were not seen, you get a smart zero. Apart from the people who knew me as their teacher and the parents who knew that I taught their children, there are the few who gave me the votes in especially Tata Division and the Central Division. Otherwise, I was comfortable with that where I got the zeros because I knew I had not reached the people there. But however, I had political gymnastics. You know, teachers are very, very bright. I knew within a town, people may share you up, but the interest is the money. And you know, for us teachers, we don't have the money. So I went where people believe in you, but not in your money. So I went deep in the villages. And remember, Fred, I was on a motorbike. Others were on vehicles. And some of those areas, vehicles cannot reach. But for me, I reached on my motorbike. So what was important? The political gymnastics. I was in the villages. And also when I was dragged there, I had the confidence
That you would win.
I would win because I was being asked here and there. I said, as long as the declaration forms are from Electoral Commission, Nebbi, I have no problem with you people. We can do it.
Now, from the public domain, there are talks that some results from some sub-counties were missing when the tribunal were trying to do the recount.
I want to tell you that, teachers are not liars, first of all. And I strongly believe that the returning officer and the people who did the counting of the tally of the votes were people of integrity. There was no way they would declare results minus other results from other sub-counties. And therefore, when I was taken to the tribunal, I had to get the evidences of all results from all the sub-counties. And in those results, you find the parishes are there, the villages are there. Then the total sum of the votes were from all the sub-counties. And therefore, the allegations that some of the results, by the time results were being declared, that me being the winner, some of the results were not yet back from some sub-counties, I saw it as null and void. Looking at the geographical location of some of these places, if they came late, you would not even complain, because some of the parishes, they are far from the district headquarters. So in case there were some delays, definitely it was the challenge of transport and the distance. But these people, I believe, for me, I was not even there. I believe they did what they are to do according to their training. And I really thank God so much. When the ruling said there should be a recount, those people are really trained, I want to tell you. They told all of us to get the papers and the pens. We didn't know the reason. There was a reason behind. So I was supposed to write mine, and I'm to write the one who petitioned me. She should also do the same. But to my surprise, my counterpart was just pretending to write. She did not write. She had staffed results from the district, which she had already written. Now, after writing everything, we were told to hand over what we had written. She didn't have. And they said, but we had told you to write. What were you writing then? But they are sober-minded. They said, okay, we shall use yours, which you came with from the district. Surprisingly, you find one village being repeated twice or three times. And then they would rule one or two out. Until when, for me, I was now gaining strength. But for them now, things were going down, because already the funny things started coming out. And above all, the totals of the tallies from the parishes, you find mine, because we were asked to add. The Electoral Commission of NRM were also adding theirs. I was adding mine. My counterpart was also adding hers. But now when they collected back the papers, there was a bit of marking also. Teachers were there. So theirs would read a certain total, which was in line with mine. Mine was also the same like theirs. But of my counterpart, there was variation. And the variation would hit me directly, subtracting mine by either 3 or 5. Then we would go back to the mathematics until when all the results are the same.
Okay. Now that you have the flag, kindly, I want us to get into the real issues. Okay, in case you make it past this next stage, that is in 2021, what are going to be your key priority areas that you think you are going to dwell on when you get the mandate in the next 5 years?
Thank you very much, Fred. I want to tell you that when you take a careful look of my poster, Unity for Development, and this unity is not out of the bloom, I must see who are the partners that should unite. For development to yield any fruit, you must not ignore any key actors. And the key actors I'm talking about that should unite are the political wing, the cultural wing, then the religious wing. When we come together, We discuss the problems. And by the way, if I go, it will not be only the problem of Nebbi district. I see it must be the problem of Greater Nebbi, because we are people who speak the same language and our problems seems to be the same. So we need to, first of all, bring all these key actors together. Then we take off from there. Then too, Fred, you know that I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. When results come, we teachers walk with our heads down because of the poor performance. It means that there is a lot of work that should be done. The parents should play their part. Politicians must do their part. The education department should do their part. And me as the politician to be, which I believe I'm going to be, I should get a way of motivating the teachers and the learners. You know, motivation is very, very important in life. And don't ask me how am I going to motivate them. That one will remain with me. So that everybody plays the part. And then above all, talking to the parents, the roles that they should do. You can be a poor parent, yes, but the way you talk to the child, when the child acknowledges that I come from a poor family, things will be okay. But in most cases, our parents, when the children are asking for things from them, we become wild because of the poverty. And it gives a very, very low morale to our learners.
Okay, we are due for another break. When we talk about unity, that is something that many people think is lacking. Because now when it gets to political period, many people are actually divided along the different political lines. I wonder how exactly you're going to bridge that particular gap. But my producer is telling me we need to take that break. Hold on that question. You will be getting back and probably you'll get to start it from there. Thank you so much for streaming the Political Dive on Northern TV. We are taking another break. This Wednesday, we are unplugging all about the aspiring woman MP for Nebbi district on the NRM ticket. That is the secondary school teacher, Madam Achibu Agnes. Let's take that break. And of course, as usual, we'll be back in a flash. Right, welcome back from that break. This is the Political Dive on Northern TV. My name is Fred Mongurek. As I told you, our guest on the show tonight is none other than the flag bearer for the NRM in the Woman MP race for Nebbi district, Madam Achibu Agnes. Before we took that break, I had posed to her a question from which we'll be getting to start this third stanza of our program this evening. Yes, before we go to that break, we talked about that bit of unity, and of course I brought in the issue, the division that always comes during political times, that are along political lines. How do you intend to unite the people, given that this is a time that ranks highest in terms of dividing our people?
Thank you very much. First of all, it saddens me most when it comes to politics, when there is that division in religion. You will bear in mind, Fred, when it comes to hard moments, maybe funerals, or when we are having some ceremonies like weddings and so on, you find all these religious groups, they come together. And I wonder why religion should be used to divide people. Because if it were a matter of religion, Fred, you know very well that our president is an Anglican man. But you can see, development is just coming as rain which God's give to the sinners and people who are not sinners. And therefore, we must lead by examples. So, when I get there, I'm sure with the leadership of my people in the district here, when I talk to them that we are interested in meeting the political leadership, the cultural leadership, the religious leadership. When we are talking about the religious leadership, we are not going to discriminate anybody because we are all created in the image of God. And I don't think that there is any religion that divides people. If ever there is any religion which brings about division, then you must know that there is something wrong. It is the devil working. So with the development, we should put aside religion. We should put aside our political differences. For sure, if we have good heart for Nebbi, for development, this question of religion party will not come. Instead, we would join together. And then things would automatically come. So these ideas of dividing people along religion, to me, is not going to work. And for the first time, people will see that we are harmonizing these different religious groups. Because everybody is crying, we need development. And this development cannot come when you are not united. And when you are united, you speak one voice. If you are not united, you don't speak one voice. And I think this is one of the challenges we have in the district. That's why we are the way we are. Because when you look at Nebbi district, this is a district that started long time back when I hear.
1974.
1974. But when you look at it, even a trading center somewhere is far much better than it. What is happening? Those are the questions we need to ask ourselves, and together we come up with the answers. And until when we are united, nothing will come up.
Okay, leaving that aside, we talked about your key priority areas. As you, in case you get the mandate to be the woman MP for Nebbi district, you talked about the first one being uniting the people, and then the second one you talked about education. The two that you're going to take as your priority, or you still have other areas that you are going to be emphasizing on in your next 5 years?
Thank you very much, Fred. I think when you look around and when we look at the demographic structure of Uganda, the youths are the majority. And Fred, when you take a walk in our district here, in the morning you find very many youths who are doing nothing. And being along the roadside brings us nothing. I think we need to talk to these youths. They need to engage in productive activities. I want to tell our people that we are very rich. Especially we Alur, we are very rich, except that we are very lazy. I think, Fred, you have seen people who come from other parts apart from the Greater Nebbi. When they come here, they love this area and they prosper. Why is it that we are not prospering? We are crying all about poverty, but it all goes back to us. We are lazy. We don't want to work. So we should encourage them. Like the youths are saying that there is no employment. I think there should be a proper definition of what work is. Work is not getting employed in government. You can initiate your own work. And Fred, I want to tell you that when I go there, I need to talk to the youths. They must benefit from the NRM government. The government has a lot of money. But for you to access the money, you must be organized. And when you are organized, what I hate most with our people, when such things come, they say, this is government money, you eat it. But they do not know that the effect is direct on them.
What does that point to? The fact that when the government gives money, the young people, what comes into their mind is showing it because it belongs to the government. Do we have a mindset problem in our country, or there's something else?
Not only in the country. I think specifically, let me talk about Nebbi. Mindset. We need to change the mindset of people within Nebbi. Because when you go to other areas, they have very vibrant projects which they get as a result of formation of their vibrant groups, which have got proper objectives, because the government cannot give you just the money because you are in the group. You must have an agenda why you have set that group. The agenda must be there. What are you aiming at? And that's why when you go to other parts of the country, definitely you find the youth groups, the women groups, they are very vibrant and they have a lot of things that brings for them income. But in our area here, I hope you have seen the youth livelihood thing there. Has it worked?
And if we let's take like how it is right now, it has not worked. Who is to blame for this? Do we have to blame the youths for not, making good use of the monies that they get from the government, or in a way we have to, shift our blame and blame the government? Because now we talk about mindset. How do you give me 1 million shillings, well knowing that in the past I had not seen that? Obviously, I'm going to also think about, living the good life and probably changing a few things about myself. Don't you think that before money is given to someone, they have to be taught and probably shown exactly how to use it?
When it comes to good life, I don't know what you mean exactly. What is good life? You must tell me what good life is, because I think there is a vacuum. I believe before the government comes in with such things, I believe that sensitization of the people is very, very important. And it is unfortunate. I believe that in other districts, they don't wait for the mother district. Within the district, I think the district leadership also talks to the people how they should use the money. It is true. For our people, when it comes, it is like manna from above. And remember, God told the Israelites, do not keep the manna. When others who did not listen to that, they kept it, the next day it was worms, isn't it? So these people must be educated how to use the money. Because in one way or another, I think the government is trying its part to elevate people from the too much poverty. But unfortunately, as we talk, there are other people who confuse these youths. They come, this is government money. You eat it, not knowing that the government begins with us. You are a government, I'm a government. So people who have made a proper use of this government, I think it has pushed them somewhere. But it is unfortunate that we Alur, especially in my district, we have failed to tap the opportunities within this government. And it's the reason why I've come, so that we get organized, I partner with some people to come and give some of this education to the people so that the mindset is changed. When government gives you something, use it properly so that you are changed to a better person.
Now, before we even have to bring in the issue of mindset, as far as the way the youths, take advantage of these government monies, someone might come out to say that the trend of corruption in the country could also be partly to blame, because during some of these, processes of the youths getting the money, we have heard of accusations about the people who are in charge of these monies, at sub-county level also, requesting for kickbacks from the different youth groups. For example, if you're supposed to get about 10 million, they are actually, as we heard, asked to give back 2 million.
Thank you very much. You are saying you have heard. But have you verified what you have heard is also the next question. Because verification of information is very, very important. You know the psychology of rumor. So if you base your judgment on psychology of rumor, automatically you are going to get lost. And if at all such a thing is...
I've spoken to so many...
Now, what have they done as the youth? Are they having one voice? For sure, if they have one voice, me and them, we can fight that voice.
Right, the big journey will commence very soon. That is, of course, in just a matter of days after they are all given the roadmap for their campaigns. But of course, remember, 2021 is fast approaching. We wish you all the very best of luck as you get to maneuver through the murky waters of politics. As you mentioned, it's not been easy for you. And of course, this brings us to the very end of the show this very evening. Thank you so much for being a piece and part of the Political Dive on Northern TV. I still remain your boy, Fred Senior. hoping to meet you again next week. Until then, for now, I should be saying good night, kwaheri.